a lot of you guys are not familiar of data warehousing. Am I correct? Because a lot of you are from the front end. So like, for example, Java, C++, and some legacy systems like the COBOL, for mainframes like AS400, ZOS. Am I correct? Okay. So data warehousing is it's an emerging technology. Okay. So it's really young here in the Philippines and even worldwide. So same as me, I'm young. Okay. So if NEP is 26, then I'm just 16. Okay. So well, I would just like to tell first about my idea of data warehousing. So when I had my first job in a bank, I really don't have any idea what is data warehousing. What is it? Come on, I was trained to do some Java, something like that, Visual Basics, and sad to say C++. Yeah, and then the process I learned data warehousing by experience. Okay. So you dealt with data, a lot of data actually, a lot of tables. So for those folks how to do SQL, definitely you're gonna enjoy the data warehousing. Okay. So our agenda is basically the data warehousing concepts, and then of course the Teradata database. All right, and then of course the Teradata utilities. If you're gonna if you are what do you call this one? If you have arrived here early, makikita nyo, di ba, puro Teradata. What is it? Di ba? I mean, we know Tera means it, or giga, mega, di ba? And then what is data? So combined together, Teradata, alright? So, but before I discuss about Teradata, let's first have a basic concept of data warehousing. Okay? Alright. So when we say data warehouse, it's just a collection of related logical tables that is used for reporting or data analysis, right? And it stores current and or historical data which are extracted and transformed from different operational systems. Any idea, guys? Nosebleed, no? Tama? Ayan. So, in my own understanding, so data, there's this data, okay? And then we get that data. We put that data into specific storage, and then we transform that data, and then we analyze that one for what? For reporting. Okay? So basically, from data, we are turning it into information that is useful to the business. Okay? So there's a quote there, which I got from watchwise.net. As part of company's business intelligence solution, a data warehouse is integral to gathering, processing, and use of all information a business receives daily. A strong business intelligence plan coupled with robust data warehouse will guarantee a business has all the tools needed to make the right decisions for today and for the future. Later, I would, tell you a story of the application of data warehouse. Okay. So, this is the easiest way to explain what is data warehousing all about. Okay. So basically, we have 3 layers. We have the source layer, we have the integration layer, and the semantic layer or the reports. So for the source layer, you can consider it like the ATM machine. Okay, so those ATM machines are running from base 24. What else? And then it could be a mainframe. So for those mainframe people, or it could be a Unix server. What else? Or it could be a web, XML, and even flat file or Excels, right? So those data are from different platforms, right? So they are in different formats. So if you're going to do analysis in it, it would be really hard. Now, so basically that's the source layer, okay? So what we have to do is extract. Okay, we create a copy from those source layers. So that's where the integration comes in. So we try to integrate those data into one single platform. Okay, so we could use a lot of different database. But of course, in this case, we're going to use the Teradata database. Okay. So within this is actually the data warehouse. So within the data warehouse, we have the landing, the staging, and then the base or the data warehouse itself. So the landing, it's where we extract. Okay, because these ones on the right side, these are operational, right? So the data are changing from time to time. So in data warehousing, we process those data. Okay, so basically, since we are speaking of big data, when I say big data, those are not just hundreds of rows. I'm not just speaking of thousands of rows. I'm speaking of millions of rows or even billions of rows. So can you imagine you do processing on those number of rows? If you don't have enough technology, then basically, baka nagkaroon ka na ng apo, hindi pa tapos yung query mo. Okay? Alright. So going back, so data warehouse, we have the landing. So basically, we have our own copy of the data. So that data is already standardized. So it's in single platform already. So it's already in the Teradata database. Okay? And then, there is a staging layer. In a staging layer, we try to standardize. So for example here, marketing, sales, the format of the customer could be, 30 in length. And in sales, the format of the customer could be, 40 in length. And then, when it comes to the integration layer, we set the format, like for example, into 30. Something like that. Or, for example, there's a column here in the source layer. We assign for female, we assign the code F. Okay? In sales, for their customers who are male, basically there's a code 1, or for example, if it's male, then 1. If it's female, then 0. But if you put it in a data warehouse, there is a standardization approach happening. Okay? So, across all the source layer, if the data goes into integration layer, for that specific scenario, for example, so if it's a female, then we have to assign a code of 1. And if it's a male, then we have to assign a code of 2, something like that, okay? So that's where the transformation happens, or the staging. Okay, and then from the staging, once the data are being standardized, we load it to base table or the data warehouse itself. Okay? So basically in Teradata, the base table or data warehouse, these are patterned from different business models. Okay, so for example, if it's in financial, Teradata offers a business model for financial industry. What else? For the telecommunications, any type of industry, there are business models. So these business models or data, tables, they are basically in 3NF form. So if you're familiar with that one, you guys familiar of the 3NF? All right. Okay. Anyways. So from the data warehouse, so we already have, standardized, integrated data. So we have all the data from different source systems. Then it's the only time we can do the analysis. Okay, so basically in analysis or in the reports layer, okay, there are lots of tools. For example, Cognos. What else? MicroStrategy. What else? A few reporting tools that I know. Okay, so if you're gonna look at it, data warehousing is really easy, right? Okay, but the question is, why do we have to data warehouse? Okay? So basically, of course, there's a benefit. Okay? It says there that single view of the business, advanced query processing, data consistency, retention of data history, disaster recovery implications. Okay? Of course, since it's in the same platform, the data are being standardized. Basically, you have a single view of the business. For example, if you're the owner of a corporate, you have a sales and then a marketing. If I ask the sales people, give me a number of your customers, they would have, given me a different number of customers. Because there are some customers that are customers of marketing, something like that. Okay. Unlike in data warehouse, if you have a data warehouse, you can identify, there's a master record of your customer. So you can identify if your customer could be a customer from sales or from marketing. So you view that customer as only one customer. Okay? You got the idea? All right. And then as for the advanced query processing, since all your tables are available, all your data are in a single table and they are already structured, so you can have your query from your different tables, prepare some cubes, create some views, something like that. Okay, and then of course data consistency. As what I have explained, we try to standardize the data, and then retention of data history. So in this case, remember if you're gonna go back. We create our own copy from the landing. Okay? So, retention of data history, let's admit, most of the operation systems, there are what? They just can, they store data within just a month or within just a year. Okay? But in a data warehousing, okay, the standard is 7 years of data. Okay? Those data, those old data, we call them historical data. And then the current data, we call them basically the current data. Alright? And then, of course, disaster recovery implications. Since we are duplicating our data, so if ever something happened on your source data, at least you can, refer to your data warehouse for that, to retrieve that damaged data. Okay? All right, so before I proceed with the Teradata database, a good application of the data warehousing is, sino dito may SM Advantage card? O SNR na lang, medyo cheap ba? Sino ba? All right. So, di ba, pagpasok nyo ng supermarket, they ask you, oh, sir, ma'am, please, there's a kiosk there, and then you just have to swipe. Then automatically, after swiping, nag-offer siya, nagbibigay siya ng promo, di ba? So, ito, in sale, something ganito, ganyan. So, that's a manifestation of the data warehousing. It's real time. Okay? Kasi, the data warehousing, what do you call this? Gusto niyang makuha, for example, yung buying pattern mo. You got, guys, actually, if you get an Advantage card into any supermarkets, like SNR, buhay pa ba ang Macro? I don't know. SM Supermarket, you are doing them a favor. Because you're trying to, tell them your buying pattern. So in that case, you are, what? Telling them that most likely, these are the products I would be buying. Okay? Same thing, if you purchase an item from eBay, nakiklik-click ka lang, di ba? Hindi mo alam, those clicks are being analyzed already. So, makikita mo sa baba, may mga suggestions. Di ba? As fast as that one. So, most likely, so, you are, mahilig ka sa Adidas, mahilig ka sa Nike. So, nagkiklik-click ka doon, di ba, ng mga shoes. Makikita mo yung suggestions na doon sa baba. Kasi ina-analyze niya na yung clicking pattern mo. Wini-warehouse niya na yung data. Okay? So that's an application of data warehousing. Di natin alam, nag-i-exist na pala. And then there's this a very big supermarket in US. Okay, it's not Walter Mart, but sounds like Walter Mart. Okay, it uses a data warehousing. All right. So there's this scenario na may paparating na bagyo. Let's say it's a Hurricane Katrina. Most likely, the customers, of course, would have panic buying. Okay, so from your opinion, for example, isa ka dun sa mga, not victim, let us say, magpa-panic buy, tas may paparating na bagyo, ano ang bibilin mo? Ano bibilin nyo? Flashlights, di ba? Batteries, what else? Ano pa? Canned goods, ano pa? Those are the items that comes, first in our mind. Am I correct? Ayun. Okay? Pero, with the data warehousing, those are just what? Based from assumptions. Okay? But with data warehousing, you can identify what exactly the people are buying. Okay? Since Walmart is an, a mature client, it uses data warehousing. It was able to identify what are the items actually being bought by its customers. And, surprisingly, is more on the comfort foods. Chocolates, strawberry tarts, something like that. So, as detailed as that one. Okay, so what they did is, based on data, ito palang binibili. Then why are we ordering or having more shipments on these canned goods or what? So let's change the shipment. Okay, so let's order more on these comfort foods and then place them on the market and then boom, that's business intelligence. Kumita sila. Okay, you got the idea of data warehousing. Cool, di ba? Yan. Okay. But of course, those things, like what I'm telling you guys, we are dealing off big data. And of course, we need a technology that can handle big data. And that's Teradata. Sounds what? Not familiar, right? Okay. But after this tech talk, definitely you guys are going to be interested of Teradata. I'm very sure of that one. Okay. Whoa. What is Teradata database? Basically, it's a database. It's RDBMS. Okay, everybody knows that. Am I correct? Okay. So, the Teradata database provides the foundation to give a company the power to grow, to compete in today's dynamic marketplace, and to evolve the business by getting answers to a new generation questions. So, a good example of that one is, it is an open system database and compliant with industry ANSI standards, of course. Okay. A large database server, okay, that accommodates multiple client applications, making inquiries against it concurrently. Various clients' platforms access the database through TCP/IP connection or TCP/IP, or those are the LAN, okay, through LAN, or across an IBM mainframe channel connection or mainframe connection, okay? So it is a database designed and built with a parallel architecture, okay? So what is parallel architecture, right? So this is how I explain the parallel architecture, okay? So here, the right side, the typical database, okay? So the jars, let us say those are storage, okay? And then the balls, the red ball, the blue ball, the green ball, those are the data, okay? And as for the parallel database, okay, we have 3 storage, okay? And then, for each storage, or the data. Now, what if I ask you, one of you guys, okay, I want you to get me all the red balls. Which do you think is faster? The right side, right? Okay, since you're facing the stage, okay? Kasi, you know where you're gonna get the data, right? So, another scenario is, what if I get you 1 blue ball, 1 red ball, and then 1 green ball? Which one is faster? Again, the right side, okay? So, what's happening here, in a typical database, there is a bottleneck effect, right? And that is what's actually happening in our, old databases. Okay, I really don't have to mention what are those databases, diba? Pero their way of, to make things faster is what? They create indices, something like that. But what if your rows are really billions? Come on, diba? It would take time for you to read all those rows, unnecessary rows. Okay, even if you're gonna do an index, mabagal pa rin siya. Okay? Unlike here, is mabilis siya. Because it's parallel. Alright? So, the Teradata, ito yung unique feature niya. So, exceptional performance using parallelism, of course. Very obvious. And then, can handle most concurrent users who are often running multiple complex queries. Why? Because, ang isang complex query, mabilis matapos. Okay, so, hindi nagkakaroon ng traffic. Alright? And then, third one is, provides automatic data distribution and no reorganizations of data are needed. Remember, kunyari, may laman yung tables natin, di ba? Sino dito ang database administrator? Do we have someone from the crowd? Database administrator? Come on guys, don't be shy. Wala. Don't worry, I'm not gonna ask questions. I just wanna know if someone's here. Wala, alright, it's okay. So as a database administrator kasi, pag, di ba, mahirap what do you call this one? Mag-create ng mga indices sa mga tables, it takes time. Nagda-drop tayo ng spaces, nag-allocate tayo ng spaces. But for the Teradata, hindi mo na gagawin yun. Automatic, ginagawa niya na sa'yo yun. Ganun siya. So, ang ating database administrator, what they just do is not more on configuration. What they just do is more on the analysis of their data. Okay? Kasi a lot of database administrator, we are paying them because they have to, configure our databases. But as per the Teradata, it does it for you. Ang ginagawa lang ni database administrator natin is monitor. Okay? Ano pa? Pinag-aaralan lang niya yung data mo. Yung frequency, something like that. Okay? And then the fourth one is, of course, Teradata supports an ad hoc pair. So when we say ad hoc, those are by request. Okay? Not part of the batch. Okay? So it uses ANSI standard SQL and includes SQL-ready database management information or log files. Of course, this allows Teradata to interface with third-party business application tools and submit queries from other database systems. So when we say business application tools, marami yun. So from our example, for ETL kasi, what they call this one? In the integration, di ba, we have the source and then the integration. We extract data. Though, may mga third-party tools tayong ginagamit doon. So we call, ang nasa market ngayon, ang leading is Data Stage, Informatica, what else? Those are the, yun lang may experience ako. SAS. Okay, meron data integration din si SAS, no, aside from analytics. Okay? Alright. Okay. So, the Teradata database, so you know that it runs in a parallel architecture. Okay? Of course, it has its own tools and utilities. Okay, I would just have to, list it: fast load, fast export, multi-load, TPUM, and BT. So if you wanna, if you have a batch, okay, and you want your data to be loaded fast, to be loaded from mainframe to Teradata, from an empty table, you can use the fast load. It's a script. Okay, you can create a script. You can think of it like a bat file or a Unix script, shell script. Okay? And then for the fast export is you're bringing out data from the Teradata database. Okay? You want to put it, like, for example, into a flat file. It's just an opposite of the fast load. Right? And then as for the multi-load, it allows you to insert and update and delete data. Okay? And then as for the T-pump naman, kasi for the first three utilities, it locks the database or the table. You cannot do any updates, inserts, just query. Okay? But as for the T-pump, it allows you to do those, what they call those, data manipulation statements. So the select, what else? The insert, the update, and then the delete. Basically, even the data is live, it's running, you can, with the T-pump, it allows you to do that one, alright? Again, and as for the BTIC, some sort of scripting, you can also do those different utilities within BTIC. So you can think of it like, again, it's a Unix shell script, or for mainframe people, it's like a JCL, right? Okay, for the Unix people, yeah, or yeah, the shell script, the bash file, something like that, okay? And then, if you're thinking, okay, nandito na sa Teradata, we have a Teradata database na. How do we communicate on those database? Okay, Teradata, it provides an SQL Assistant. So if you're familiar with the SQL developer for Oracle people, right? Or the MySQL, katulad lang din siya. It has its own, basically, the Teradata SQL Assistant. So, hindi ko na siya babasahin. So, basically, ganyan yung itsura niya. So, medyo katulad lang siya ng MySQL, di ba? Ng Toad. I'm sorry? The free one is the MySQL Workbench. I'm sure you guys know that, okay? So, ganyan lang din. So, we have SQL History View, the Scratchpad, and then this is where you can view the database, the objects, and then here is the output result. Then the good thing about here is once you have, executed your SQL query, you can actually revisit it. Just, click the history view, double click it, and you can, again, execute it. Okay? Right? So, well, this can connect to, this is the only way to connect to Teradata, through Windows. Alright? So, that's it, guys. So, do you have any questions or clarifications about Teradata? For more information about Teradata, you can visit www.teradata.com.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had an experience of handling databases before, and in spite of that, I'm honestly new to the subject about Teradata.
Yeah.
Just a business question is, if I were handling a business and I'm having this database, when will I say, or what are the qualifying factors that I can say, this business needs a Teradata system, or no, this business is too small, I don't think I don't need that yet. So what are the qualifying questions I can draw upon for me to decide when do I need Teradata?
This is a really good question, okay? So as a Teradata, actually, it has different packages, okay? It depends on the business needs. So for example, di ba parang sa Windows, we have service package 1, service package 2, 3, something like that. So if your business just, deals with not so many data, then Teradata has its own, what they call this one, package for that one. Okay, and then for each package is nakalagay doon yung mga pwedeng kaya niyang i-support. Like for example, the number of queries you can support, di ba? What else? Yeah, something like that. Okay. Did I answer your question?
Probably a follow-up question. Does it have a specific requirement, like does it require a number of rows? Does a database need to have a certain number of rows for me to say, okay, I need the Teradata for this structure? Okay.
Again, a good question. Actually, since it depends on, kasi when you purchase Teradata, it goes with an appliance. It's not something like a software. Purchase it, you have a Unix or a Windows server, install it. No. It comes with a very big box. Okay? And that box depends on, meron siyang tinatawag na nodes, may mga slots. So if you're gonna process billions of data, then the Teradata architecture, the Teradata architect would recommend you to have a Teradata system with, like for example, 32 nodes, and that can process billions of rows. Okay. So if it's just if you're just dealing with small data, then I would just recommend you 4 nodes. Okay. So those specific nodes you just put there in the server. So it has a size, and then AMP or processors. We call those AMPs. Those are mini processors. So parang yung sa sample ko, yung sa jar, the amps are, for example, kayo yung nagpo-process basically. So mini CPU siya, something like that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Do you have any implementation in the cloud, or is it recommended that this will be implemented in the cloud?
Actually, there is already a cloud Teradata. Okay, you can access have your queries through cloud and then using the Teradata. And the good thing about it is they offer a what they call this one, an express for it. You can download from the internet and then have your query through cloud and install it on your PCs using a Teradata machine. Okay, but for now, my own experience, I don't have any implementations. It's more on the back-end data warehousing. Since everyone knows that cloud is just again emerging technology. Okay, and I'm actually looking forward to have that kind of project. But if you want to learn cloud using Teradata, there is an available learning, how do you call this one, web-based training available. You can download that one from Teradata.com. Okay. Okay.
Hi, you were saying before that it's a real-time process.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thought was just what if there's a network connection lost something in the middle of the processing, something like that.
So are you referring
is it damaged or corrupted, something like that? Or?
Okay. Of course, we have different ways how to handle those kind of what they call this one unexpected events, right?
Yes.
So if it's in a network, of course, it's the problem of the Cisco or network, the fiber optic, something like that. But like for example, if something happened, power interruption, in Teradata we have this fallback table. So it's kind of some sort of very technical thing to explain, but basically we can handle that one. We have this hot standby node migration. So again, it's very technical. Okay, but basically, to answer your question, we can handle those kind of unexpected, events. Okay.